Violence erupts on Poland-Belarus border as Polish guards fire water cannon on migrants throwing rocks. Polish and Belarusian authorities have blamed one another for the ratcheting of tensions on the border, where thousands of people have traveled in the hope of making it into the EU only to find themselves stuck in freezing conditions. There were chaotic scenes on the Bruzgi-Kuźnica border crossing, where crowds of migrants could be seen breaking up concrete blocks and gathering tree branches to throw toward the Polish side. 7 police officers were injured after being hit by projectiles, according to the Polish police. The Polish border guard said Tuesday that migrants camped out near the Bruzgi-Kuźnica checkpoint were behaving aggressively, throwing stones and various objects at the Polish services. In order to prevent illegal border crossing, water cannons were used against aggressive foreigners, the security agency said on Twitter. Poland's Ministry of Defense shared footage on Twitter showing Polish officers and soldiers standing shoulder to shoulder with riot shields as rocks were lobbed over the barbed wire border fence, describing the scene as an attack of migrants. The ministry also accused Belarusian services of equipping migrants with stun grenades.
The spokesperson for Poland's security services, Stanislaw Zarin, wrote on Twitter on Tuesday about the clashes, congratulating Polish forces for successfully repelling the first wave of attacks on the border. Belarusian reported an aggravation of the situation on the border on Tuesday, as migrants try by all means to get to Poland and Polish authorities respond with tear gas, stun grenades and water cannon, pouring water on people in the cold. People say they are tired of waiting and are ready to break through, according to BITA. "We are going back to Iraq." Anton Bichkovsky, the spokesman for Belarus State Border Guard Committee, told BLTA that the agency was launching an investigation into the incident on Tuesday. It's unclear what sparked Tuesday's confrontations, but there is a growing sense of frustration among migrants that Europe is not welcoming them. They're now facing conditions the United Nations has called catastrophic, suffering from hunger and hypothermia, camped out in flimsy tents in makeshift camps at the border. Rumours have been swirling over the past 48 hours in the camps that the Polish government might open the border and allow a humanitarian corridor through to Germany. Poland has adamantly denied this, and people amassed in the area have received text messages from Polish authorities saying the information was a total lie and nonsense. Polish forces appeared to have dispersed crowds from the border checkpoint as night fell on Tuesday, with some returning to a camp in the woods while other vulnerable people were being taken indoors. Lukashenko putting migrants' lives at risk. The crisis has led the EU to prepare fresh sanctions on Belarus, which it accuses of manufacturing the crisis on the bloc's eastern frontier. President Alexander Lukashenko's government has repeatedly denied such claims, instead blaming the West for the crossings and accusing it of poor treatment of migrants. NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg on Tuesday said the military alliance is deeply concerned about the way the Lukashenko regime is using vulnerable migrants as a hybrid tactic against other countries, and this is actually putting the life of the migrants at risk. He was speaking ahead of a meeting with EU defense ministers on Tuesday, and a day after warning Moscow that NATO would support Ukraine against potential aggressive actions amid a large concentration of Russian troops near Ukraine's borders. Ukraine is not a member of NATO or the EU. The military moves continue to test a fragile political order in the region and deepen concerns over the potential for a wider geopolitical crisis. Lukashenko spoke Tuesday with ally Russian President Vladimir Putin about the situation on Belarus border, days after the two countries flexed their military might near Poland in joint paratrooper drills. The leaders also discussed the situation in neighboring Ukraine and US-led exercises near Russia's borders and in the Black Sea, Lukashenko's office said. Russia, Belarus' largest political and economic partner, continues to defend Minsk's handling of the border crisis while also denying any involvement in it. On Monday, the EU ramped up pressure on all parties involved in fueling the border crisis. The bloc's Foreign Affairs Chief Josep Borrell announced in a news conference in Brussels that EU foreign ministers have agreed to impose new sanctions on people, airlines, travel agencies and everyone involved in this illegal push of migrants against our borders. The full list of people and entities would be confirmed in the coming days, he added. This will be the fifth round of sanctions slapped on Belarus by the EU following a disputed presidential election and crackdown on dissidents.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe